Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to unbox this CM060 or P90. So I just want to make a note on safety. Whether I'm disassembling, unboxing, chronoing, whatever it is I'm doing, I always make sure I'm in a completely safe environment. So that means most of my videos I'm always wearing eye protection just to make sure that my eyesight stays safe. Before I do that, I always make sure that there's no ammunition in any of the mags or in the gun itself. I make sure that the mags are unloaded and unwound to make sure that nothing can happen with that. Obviously, if I'm chronoing, then I've absolutely definitely got my eye protection on to protect myself. I even make sure that my batteries are removed and out of the way so that I know I'm in the safe environment. I also make sure that there's nobody else around as well either, so I'm always in a safest possible environment. If you are working with airsoft stuff, please make sure you do the same. Hi guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do like and subscribe, because you'll be really helping me out and you'll get notifications on when my new videos come out, which are every week. So we've got here the first much requested, pretty much everybody asked for this unboxing from our recent big September Taiwan Gun order unboxings. So it is the P90. We're going to get started with that. I will do a disassembly video separate to this as well. So the box is quite just plain brown, just a sticker on the top, and then it's a polystyrene tray underneath, so nothing special there, but it does show you the couple of other variants that they are offering. Get that out of the way. We've got ourselves a little manual just showing you how to load the BBs into the mid cap that's included, not a high cap, which is different to usual, how to get the battery in, changing fire selection mode, how to adjust the hop, how to split the upper, and a disassembly diagram as well. And we'll get that out of the way. We then get you the usual Taiwan Gun materials, target and safety information, and a chrono sheet. So this is saying 339 to 42, which is obviously right where we want it for UK FPS limits. And peel it back, there is the P90. Now, I've come from a history of P90s getting a bad rep in airsoft, but I can see the alert, especially if you're an Stargate SG1 fan. You know, these will be sort of something a lot of people will want for that. They have included the original spring in here, which I believe it puts it close to 400, if not over 400. There is the mid-cap mag. I do like that with the little fake rounds in there. It does look pretty cool, and you just fill it like you would with any normal mid-cap in there, in the feeding tube. Got a battery in there, which is a 9.6 volt, which is quite nice, 1100 milliamp. Obviously, longevity, it's not going to last you all day, but it'll do pretty decent out of the box to get you started and things, and it'll power it along fairly nice. You also get a speed loader to help you feed your mid cap as well, which again is another nice little addition. So let's get this out and have a look at it. Now immediately, it's I was going to say the majority of the weight is definitely in the back, but it's not badly misweighted where you feel like it's tipping over. You know, it's not a bad little weight actually. I'll just close the hop-up cover for 2 minutes. It is plasticky, but as you can hear, I'm really having to put force on that to get that to make any noise at all. So I'll just do that again. There's a tiny bit of movement in there, but considering it's all plastic outer body, that's pretty quiet for a plastic body. So I'm pretty impressed with that. So up at the front then, you have got a metal flash hider or muzzle brake, and that is removable, little grub screw underneath, and that'll come off, and it is a 14mm negative thread underneath. In terms of how you hold it then, so you get your thumb in here, you got your hand underneath, and you got your selector here for safe, single and full auto, and then the idea is that you get your other thumb in the front there and loop it round, and that's how you hold it shouldered into you, which is surprisingly comfortable. It's quite ergonomic in its design. I'm impressed with that. You then got a charging handle, which is a bit tingy. It is metal, plastic handle I think on the front. Yeah, plastic handle on the front. You have got a couple of little mini Riz rails there that you could probably get a torch on or something like that. And then you've got a fairly decent sized one there across the top to get some sort of red dot on the top if you wanted. The magazine then, you got feeding hole there. This is, I believe, where the rounds would feed in the real one in this sort of plate here. So with this circle part down, it just slides in, and the mag kind of sits forward into this ditch here, and then just clicks down at the back there, and it's sat down, and it'll feed quite happily from that. And it actually looks quite nice. It's surprisingly, it's grown on me. I've just realised as well the top rail, I'll move that out of the way, has actually got sort of built-in pistol sights, style sights there, to help you aim a little bit if you haven't got a red dot on top. So pull that back out. In terms of the hop then, the hop is in this cover. It's a little bit fiddly to get hold of, so you've got to pull this cover back. And if I remember correctly, the hop, if you're looking down the gun, I'll flip it over, you're going to turn the wheel this way to put the hop on. It does feel a little bit loose, possibly might unwind itself over time, I'm not sure, but we'll have a look at that and see what that's like when we do the range test and everything. And then at the back you've got a stock plate that just clicks down, there we go, and comes off. There's a stock plate, so they've put a little bit of foam on there, I assume to protect your battery going in there. Now this is what I do remember about P90s, is there is not an awful lot of room. So the 9.6 volt battery does fit down there, but doesn't go all the way down, and it's actually quite a tight squeeze to get the battery in there and to get the fuse holder in there as well, and get the back cover on, especially considering it's obviously got a little bit of foam. It's going to be a tight squeeze, so you may want to consider getting a smaller battery from the outset. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly get the other batteries and just look at the sizing towards this. So I've got a variety of different size batteries here just to see what fits. Now first of all, I've got a VP Airsoft one here that's 1300 milliamp 7.430C. That one will fit with bags of room, so you've still got plenty of room in there for your connector and your fuse holder, and it all sits nicely, neatly tucked away. But obviously you are going to need a couple of those to get you through a day. Next I've got the 1600 milliamp. Again, that sits in there really nice and neat. So that's a little bit smaller than the 9.6, so it sits in there quite happily, and you've still got plenty of room for all your wiring and everything to sit in there out of the way of that. And job's a good one. And then I've got, just to try it, I've got the one that we usually do the rate of fire test with, the 7.4 20C rated Nuprol nunchuck, so I'm going to drop that in there now. It does stick out a little bit at the top there, but I dare say you might actually be able to get away with this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to connect that up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drop it in reverse and see if that will go in like that. Making right pig's ear of this. It's not as easy as it looks when you're trying to hold things up for camera and do something. Right, let's see if I can get those organised. For whatever reason, probably a little bit longer time messing about, and I could probably get those in there just quite neatly. But with the time constraints, no, probably can get it in there that way. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to feed it down like that, and actually I can more or less do the same in reverse. I think if I took the connector down there, and I can get out of the way, that will go down there, that will sit in there, the wiring can come out of the way. I can probably, just with a little bit of sort of manoeuvring about, I can probably get that on there. Maybe not actually. I don't want to nip anything or crush anything, but in theory you might even be able to get that 2200 milliamp LiPo in there to obviously see if you can run it pretty much full weekend on one of those batteries, well, a full day on one of those batteries. So externally wise, it's looking pretty good. It's fairly solid. It obviously is plastic. I'm pretty sure the real steel one is like a polymer sort of construction, so it's not mega heavy. There's not really much else. It's all a little bit nondescript, but they are quite different. You don't see many P90s about on the field anymore. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut to the footage of it being chronoed, rate of fire test and the range check, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we think. A little bit slower. That should have been 18, but mag's empty. Let's try it with the high cap. That's better. Helps if I click it in. Slight lift, that's hitting out to that tree, which is about 40 meters. So we are back from the chrono and the range check. So we got about 335 FPS, a little bit different to what Taiwan Gun was saying, but that's probably down to just difference in chronos, that you can get a little bit different reading out of there. I'm not overly concerned. At the end of the day, it's still around what I want it to be anyway, which is absolutely perfect. So we then did, obviously, the rate of fire test on the 9.6, fully charged as well. We got that out about 12-13 rounds per second. We sometimes see a little bit better rate of fire out of these. It wasn't like blindingly amazing. I was hoping for a little bit better, but it was pretty decent as it was. We then went to the 7.4 and I was pretty happy with the fact that it came pretty close actually on this setup. The rate of fire was pretty damn close. We were sort of like 11-12 rounds per second, so we were fairly close to that kind of performance. But it definitely felt like it was turning over a little bit easier, I suppose, than with the 9.6. And then finally we did the 11.1 and we were putting out about 18 rounds per second, which is sort of what you would expect, you know, a big jump in terms of performance and things like that. I did try it with the mid cap, and we had a high cap as well. We've got a high cap, and I can't remember using a high cap before, and it's a little bit different experience. I'll just grab it to show you. So there's the high cap, and the way you fill this up, you pull this little tab back there, and it compresses a spring in here. You flip this open, and it holds a little spring plate back. So you pour your BBs in, and then kind of tip them down. Don't wind it before you filled it with BBs. As you lower this down, this will push the BBs down and keep them under compression to force them into the feeding mechanism. Now, I know they're all the same, but this is obviously a down point. So you've got to wind the mag up. Nice and easy, that's fine. But when you put it into the gun, your winding mechanism is now hidden. So you're hoping that you can feed most, if not all of those BBs out of there without winding. Otherwise, you're going to have to actually remove your mag to wind it again. Now, I have seen the box mags that come that sort of put like just a blanking plate in there, the connecting to it, and you get like a box unit here, and they put an M4 high cap in the side of it. And the idea is that the BBs fall down from the big tub into the winding mechanism of the M4 high cap, and then are fed back up and over and into the actual P90 itself. Now, for some people, they don't like the look of that, and I can see why it sort of detracts from the natural appearance of this. I'm pretty sure, you know, the sort of testing we got, although we didn't test it all the way to the end, we were pretty much getting nearly every single BB out of this. I did just check with the mag, just because it was bothering me. They're actually 280, so just short of an M4 mag capacity. Although it does look like it should be more in there. The Taiwan Gun listing says 280 rounds, and the mechanism did, when we went back out and tested it, it fed pretty much every BB for us, bar a last few that weren't quite into the feeding mechanism. I hope that helps. So the performance of it then overall, I'm quite happy with that. A little bit disappointed that the battery compartment is as small as it is, but if you buy it knowing that, then you can obviously buy batteries accordingly to make sure that you get what you want. I would definitely consider getting something more of one of these sizes, just because it gives you that little bit better room to just drop that in there and still have room for your fuse holder and everything. And you know, same with the blue one as well, the Giant Power one, you know you're going to have plenty of room to not get wires nipped and caught when you're popping the battery cover on and off, and you're not going to crush any wires when this comes up into position like that. So £87, about £90. I'm not quite convinced, based on the range and accuracy. It was sort of putting out into the high 30s, not meters, but not quite 40 meters. I'm not convinced it's quite as good a package as one of the M4 sort of ones, the 506, things like that. I think they're potentially a little bit better value for money, but it is pretty cool. If you're wanting something different, you don't see many P90s about. They are solid, maybe a little bit of tweaking, possibly just even a hot rubber, and that accuracy and consistency will definitely neaten up. It was a little bit sort of inconsistent. Possibly get better with a good barrel clean and obviously more use just to bed it in, and it possibly might settle down. But out of the box, I don't think it's quite as good for range and accuracy as the sort of CM506. Rate of fire, I'd probably say it's on par. So I'm looking forward to getting inside of this and just having a look at what it's like inside. And but that's going to be a separate video. I'm going to leave the pictures for you in a moment. If that's been helpful for you today, please do like and subscribe, because you'll be really helping me out, and you'll get notifications on my new videos. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye.